shooting with the light on your phone, not enjoyable. It is Friday, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm about to try to catch a nap. It's been hectic. Finally got the vlog maybe like a couple of hours ago. Didn't get much sleep last night. I think like 2.5 hours. Then I had to wake up, get Charlie to school, finish editing the vlog after playing PLO. Now we've got like 3 hours before dinner with my wife, so we're going to try to get in a quick nap. Alright, let's get to the footage of the PLO action. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to bed. Peace. Wooey! Could it be PLO? I think it might be. On our way to the casino, as mentioned in yesterday's vlog, we got where there was a game going. Not tired. I've got a vlog to edit. Figured I could be editing at the casino while playing. So we are on our way. Good luck to us. Been running hot this week. Hopefully that continues into PLO, which is obviously bigger than the 3-5 game that we've been playing. I think it's been lately playing as a 5-10 PLO. There might be straddles going on, so it might be 5-10-20 PLO. Let's go. 3 a.m. poker walk of shame. I haven't done this one in quite some time. Alright, let's get some hand histories. 3:15 in the morning. Pretty damn tired, gotta admit. Just finished up like a 2.5 hour PLO session. The last hour I actually ended up, well, I was there for like 3.5 hours. So played for 2.5 hours. In the last hour I ended up just kind of editing. It got down to short-handed, four-handed. It was me, 2 other pros who were good, and then another guy who won a bracelet in Hold'em a couple of years ago. Thinking player, new to PLO, but I figured I could find better spots, mostly just because I also don't really know what I'm doing in short-handed PLO. Not that I necessarily know what I'm doing in full ring PLO either, but at least previously there were some spots in the game, so I was happy to play. But once we got to short-handed, there was just really no reason for me to be playing in this lineup. So we have a couple of hands to discuss. Nothing crazy, but nonetheless, a couple of hands to discuss. Early on in the session, I get aces double suited, ace, 8, deuce. I open to 40, get 1 caller, I think out of the blinds, and the flop ends up coming 10, 9, deuce with 2 spades. And so I end up flopping like the front door flush draw and the back door flush draw. He checks, I bet 60 into 80, he calls. The turn is a 6. I do block 7-8 for the nut straight. The turn is actually the 6 of spades or diamonds, whichever one completes both of my now my front door and back door. So now I have both flush draws. He checks, and he's not actually playing too much. At this point, the pot is about $200, and so he's playing like, I think 500 or 600. So if I'm going to be betting like any meaningful bet, he can pretty much jam all in for pot, and I'm going to have to call off here, obviously. And I'm not going to really love it if he does this. I think he's going to have a set here, possibly sometimes a straight. So, I mean, my hand is doing okay against it with the 2 flush draws, but I don't really want to put myself in this spot. I decided to kind of make a nitty check back. I don't really love it, especially once he checks. I think he might be leading into me with straights here. I check, and the river is a 10 pairing the top card. He checks again. At this point, I don't think there's any reason for me to be value betting the aces. I don't see what worse hands I'm going to get to call me. Possibly like kings or queens, which, you know, think that I might be like turning my hand into a bluff. Anyway, I check back. He ends up having like naked kings. I don't think he was calling any turn bets anyway, so not that I necessarily lost any value there. Now, this next hand wasn't particularly interesting for me, but I think it elucidates a couple of different points. The first of which, so we're playing 5-10 PLO, and there's a pretty nitty player who opens to 20. I think you see this a lot, even in like Hold'em, when someone has like a really big hand. Like, it's like their way of raising, but raising small to like trick people into possibly re-raising them so they can re-raise. Especially in PLO, where, you know, all you can do is make it like 40. So people do this with aces, because if they open to 40, almost never is anyone 3-betting them. Now they have to play this like pot that they're scared of trying to play with aces. So instead they'll open to 20, hope a bunch of people call, and then pray that someone will squeeze so they can re-squeeze and get their stack in. I end up having king, king, queen, queen. Obviously a great hand, but I really just believe that he has like exactly aces here because of who he is. I think I've seen him do this before. I end up just flatting, get another flatter behind. We go like 4 ways to a flop, which comes 10, 6, 5 with no suit, I think. It goes check, check, check. To me, there's only one person behind me. She's an action player. I think about betting, But I decided to just take one free one off here. I don't want to get check raised. Obviously, I can turn top set and have the nuts. I can turn a jack and pick up a nice wrap with 2 overpairs as well to make sets. So anyway, I check. She ends up betting like fairly small. Now the small blind check raises pot. The guy in between who opened the 20 folds. I fold. She calls. I end up seeing her hand. She has 10, 9, 8, 5. So she flops top and bottom and a gutter to the nuts. When she hits check raise here, I think it's a pretty clear fold. I think she's going to be up against set here quite often. And so your top and bottom are not very good. Maybe your only real out to making the winner here is a 10. The 5 might not be any good, and even the 10 might not, like, there might not be any 10s left. You might be up against exactly top set. Obviously, sometimes someone could have just a wrap here. That's possible. I can see why people trick themselves into like calling once here, but I just don't love it. She ends up calling, turns a deuce. Now the guy pots it in her for like 800. She has, I think, like 1800. I think this is, once again, a clear fold. Like, you're essentially just kind of drawing to the gut shot. She calls, miracle for her. She hits a 7 on the river. He now checks because obviously, like, the straights get there, like the wraps get there. She jams like for her 1,000 or whatever, or maybe somewhere around there, maybe less, like 700, 800. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he ends up side calling. She wins the pot, so it seems pretty obvious he probably did flop a set of like 10s or 6s. So yeah, basically my point here was calling with ranges which, you know, have outs. I think on dry boards like 10, 6, 5, when you get check potted on and you have like 2 pair, you're just not, you should be folding. And similarly, just kind of elucidating the point of knowing when people are making these small opens that like what they're trying to do is trap. Because really, if I end up like potting him here, he's going to repot. I'm just never really going to fold kings and queens here. So I'm going to end up putting like $400 pre-flop with my hand, which I've said don't want to have to fold. So it really helped me being able to see that like by what he was doing, he was trying to trap me and get someone to repot his open. He afterwards, so anyway, I didn't actually specify. He ended up saying afterwards, I'm like, I had a pretty good hand. I'm like, do you have aces? And he was like, yeah, I had aces. And so very clearly, he ended up even saying something like, oh, did you? Because I told him after the hand, I was like, yeah, I had a pretty good hand. I had kings and queens. He's like, oh, you didn't raise me? And so I was like, yeah, I didn't raise you. He's like, did you end up making anything? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, so aces would have been good. I'm like, yeah. So he was obviously just kind of getting a hard on the fact that I didn't 3-bet him with kings and queens. So yeah, you got to pay attention to these things. Pay attention to the poker table. That's essentially all I wanted to talk about. Those were basically the only 2 hands I played myself, and so I just wanted to talk about those 2 things. Ended up booking a sweet, sweet W of $46. Oh yeah, $46. Big money. Continuing the win streak. Unfortunately, it wasn't that interesting of a PLO session, but you know, that's what it is. Sometimes you just are kind of card dead and didn't get to play many hands. That's one of the reasons why I don't rush to play PLO, because, you know I only have like 2-3 hours before the game breaks, and it's just not enough time to be playing. I want to be putting in long sessions. I hope you guys enjoy this little quick recap. Don't know when I'm going to get this up. I have a current video to upload and edit from yesterday, which I was like trying to do at the table. Hopefully I can get that up. And I'll probably be sleeping and then maybe get up the PLO video come Saturday. I'm very tired. I'm excited. I'm tired. I just want to send shout outs to everyone, giving me love, because I really appreciate it. It's motivated me to play every day. Things have been awesome. I've been doing well. The motivation I've never been this motivated to play regularly. Kind of the magic of poker is that, you can relax, play when you want. You don't have to force yourself. You are your own boss, so it's kind of the blessing and the curse. But this has really motivated me. It's inspired me to, play my best and, put out content regularly. So I want to thank you guys for watching. And, yeah, we'll keep crushing. Peace. All right. We are ready. Oh, yeah. I mean, what? You're not dressed in your bed? Ready to go? Headed to dinner with my wife and her coworkers, her old coworker. And, not sure if there'll be any other videoing that I'll be doing going forward for the night. Maybe. See if they're interested in being on camera. Probably not, possibly not. Might go play tonight. Probably not, possibly not. Tomorrow, have an interesting thing I might get into later. But anyway, that's all for now. Let's get to it. Peace.